Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. So, we're on the road to SummerSlam, and once again, it feels like we're on the road to nowhere in WWE. I look at this product from, the start to finish, and you see a show that once again has went off the rails, just like it's been going the past couple of weeks. We start off, it's the same thing. Heyman, just doing the same spiel, but this time it's going to be if Brock loses at SummerSlam, he's going to leave the WWE for good. Um, it's an okay promo to open the show. Heyman is saying it's a conspiracy to make Brock Lesnar lose the title. And, I'm just so tired. I'm sick and tired of seeing Heyman come out there. And, we hear that Heyman's working his ass off. And these promos are the same thing. They're done in the same style, the same tone of voice, time and time again. And it's been going on like this since Brock returned in 2012. How long are they going to keep doing this? We've already seen that Brock could talk for himself. He did a fine job when he was champion through most of 2003. So why exactly do they need to have Heyman keep talking for this guy? It makes little to no sense. I mean, it's the same spiel, and how are people praising him constantly for having the same promo? It's like you're. If it was one thing if it's the first time we heard it, the second time we heard it, the third time we heard it. We're like probably on the 118th time he's cut this same promo, because every a couple of months when Brock shows up, we've got Heyman coming out there cutting the same promo. And having Wade, Keller, and the rest of them praising Heyman, I'm not saying Heyman's not good. Heyman's a great promo guy. Heyman's a great personality, but these promos that he's cutting, like week after week, it's the same thing. It's this material. It's the same shit repeated over and over about Brock Lesnar, the Beast. He's unbeatable. He's going to walk out the champion. I mean, they have to find something else. I mean, this because it's so cookie cutter. Brock walks to the ring with Heyman at his side. It's Heyman does all the talking. He talks about how Brock is going to win. This is why there needs to be more of a story, more of an interaction. None of the wrestlers are out there interacting with Brock or anything. And this is pretty commonplace. You don't see a lot of interaction all the time. Either it's Brock's not there, he's not scheduled to be there, they haven't paid him for that date, or just Heyman's out there cutting the promo for him. It removes Brock from the proceedings in the match, and what we end up getting are these same tiresome promos, and they seriously have to change that. But I don't think they're going to, because it works for them, I suppose. So they're just going to keep on doing it. I mean, how is this working? Because I don't see anybody complaining about this. Out of the wrestling journalists, this is just fine. These are great promos. Heyman's a promo god, and somehow he's devoid of criticism because he's good at promos. I never said he wasn't good at promos, but the thing is if cutting the same promo over and over, if The Rock did it, if he cut the same promo back when he was hot, like in '99 and 2000, and he came out there and he said the same thing, week after week without interacting with anybody, just coming out there and straight up just cutting the promo, that's about it. You're not even getting really anything out of Angle. He's just kind of like standing there and not really saying much. And it's just Heyman just babbling on and on. Like I said, if The Rock did that, it would be the same thing. It would get tiresome after a while. You gotta add in some extra factors to this. Change it up a bit, for God's sakes. Then we had the Hardys defeating the best things since sliced bread. You had the Revival doing commentary, and these guys on commentary, it was probably the worst idea they've ever had. I mean, these guys were so bland and boring on commentary. And I don't know why everybody is so enthralled with the Revival. What is so special about these guys? I watched them in NXT too. They're okay. Once again, the YWC completely overrating these guys. Now I do like the gimmick, no flips, just fists, but these guys are small and everything, so I'm not really buying the whole brawling shtick from them. These are just more tiny dudes that that we're just trying to put them over as like anti high flying guys. They've drawn comparisons to the Andersons. You've got to be fucking kidding me. I mean, I should have addressed this years ago. In NXT, people said, "Oh, these are the four horsemen of wrestling. This is like the Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson." If you're going to compare these people to the Andersons or the or Ole Anderson or Tully Blanchard, you have to be on fucking drugs. Those legends, and you're going to compare them to the Revival. For fuck's sakes, get out of the dream world already. These wrestlers are not the second coming. These guys don't have charisma. They don't have presence. And I'm going to get to that in a second when it comes to presence. No, not like Christmas morning presence, but presence of being in the ring and knowing when you're looking at a fucking star. And, we're getting more and more away from that. But wrestling journalists still think that they're looking at legit stars. And just hold on a bit here. So you've got, and I want to talk about this about the Hardys beating them. Okay, so backstage, this was like the Raw Fallout. I watched this video. I saw the screen cap, you know, and I click on the video of Matt like this, like doing the whole broken thing, and he did. You saw more of Matt Hardy doing the whole broken shtick. He went ha ha like that. And I'm like, why wasn't that on TV? Why did they save the broken shtick? Why did they do that for the Raw Fallout? Why was this not on normal TV? And what is this shit about like teasing it? They're just why do they keep teasing the gimmick? Either you're gonna do the gimmick or move on. Stop teasing us already with it because it's ridiculous. They fully know well because they're listening to the YWC and the IWC. This is how they book the show now. So with that in mind, they know that everybody is clamoring for broken Hardys. They want the broken gimmick. It's better than just having them feel like they're the same old tag team. They were reawoken. They keep saying that. So I don't know if they're going to show up next week and start doing more broken stuff, but I'm pretty sure that they're not going to go through it. This is just like a way of throwing the fans a bone in a way, satisfying. It's not just the hardcore fans. Most people do like the broken gimmick, including myself. I praise the broken gimmick when Adam Blimpie from fucking What Culture was tearing it apart. Now he's like, oh, I love the broken gimmick. After his initial reaction to it was he hated it. He hated that shit. And Adam can't come here now in the YWC, just mere months later. I know that was probably like a year ago, whatever it might have been. He couldn't just. He came back months later saying, "Oh, I didn't understand it. I apologize, but now I understand it now." Because people were hitting dislike on your video, Adam. That's why you're changing your views so you could satisfy your fan base. When on the other hand, the YWC champion doesn't give two shits what anybody says about his videos. You think I care? I come on here, I praise Vince Russo. I tear down all these jobbers that everybody loves. If I was looking for likes, on my videos and more subs, and that's all I cared about, instead of giving my honest opinion, I'd be praising Finn Balor. I'd stand here and tell you how sexy he is and how attractive he is. Because, hey, it works for Meltzer Magoo. It works for Wade Keller. Everybody likes that gay bullshit of hearing how great these wrestlers are and, how attractive they are in their matches. But I rather go for the truth. What would I get out of that? I would be living a lie here on YouTube. See, I'm not a liar like everybody else in the YWC that just tries to tell all these idiots out there what they want to hear. Oh yeah, I want to I want to praise everybody, even though I said a couple of months ago, this what culture goofball. He should be ashamed of himself for pretending to like something. So you have the Raw fallout, and what is this? They're teasing something that everyone wants. Don't even tease it. If you're not gonna have it, just forget about it. Don't do delete. Don't do all that crap if you're not gonna go through with the gimmick. Anyway, let's move on already. We had the lovers spat of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, the next chapter. When I say that I want a soap opera in WWE, that I want some storylines and some characters, I'm not talking about two guys loving each other, trying to take me back, Dean. It's week after week. And I know they're trying to tell a story. Oh, Brad, what are you talking about? You want stories, and I know I said I wanted stories, but not stories like this when one man is begging another man to get back with him. Like this faction happened years ago, and everybody has all these fond memories of the Shield. And like I've been saying, I think back on the Shield, and I'm like, they were okay, they were all right. They weren't that great like everybody makes them out to be. They were one of the greatest teams. So it's once again exaggerating, over the top, saying something is way better than what it was. And yeah, I know everybody was, hot on the Shield back in the day, but stop pretending like it was the greatest thing of all time. Unless you're like 15 years old and you started watching WWE at that time and you don't know about DX and the NWO and the Four Horsemen and all these other great factions, then you have no excuse to say that the Shield was that great. They're not that great. They were okay, better than some of the other factions, but still, not great, not worthy of tremendous praise. We had a cruiserweight tag match that was won by Tozawa. Who the hell cares about all this shit? And Wade Keller says that Cedric Alexander is an alpha male. How does this cuck Wade Keller get away with saying that in his column and nobody calls him out for it? Cedric Alexander is an alpha male. An alpha male. I mean, are people supposed to read that and actually take that as a genuine opinion, a genuine fact? Like, oh, this is expert analysis. How is this guy an alpha male? Look at him. Does this guy look like some of the great alpha males of the past? When I think alpha male, I think of Ahmed Johnson. I think of The Undertaker. I think of Kane. I think of all these macho guys, Macho Man, for example. All these jacked up guys that look like real men. And he wants to sit there and say Cedric Alexander, some random, nameless, faceless guy from the Cruiserweight division, is an alpha male. That right there is not only just inaccurate, but it makes him sound stupid. And it makes him sound like he doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, this is a wrestling journalist. Wade Keller is, like a great wrestling mind. When are people going to get it through their heads that this guy just christened himself one day? Oh, I'm a wrestling journalist. He's not even qualified in any way. What are his qualifications? I love it when people knock me and others in the YWC. Oh, you're not qualified to talk about wrestling. You need to be qualified to talk about some phony baloney form of entertainment. Like I'm not allowed to give my opinion on a movie if I'm not officially a movie critic. Anybody could be a movie critic if they know the right people. Anybody could be a wrestling journalist if they find themselves in the right spot. It's It's the simple fact of the matter that there's a bunch of morons who are willing to pay good money to hear a wrestling opinion from some two-bit hack. And the thing is, I guess people want to hear that. That's what I said. I could be like that too. I could say that, Fuckboy Balor is an alpha male, but, I look like a buffoon saying that. Smart people on here who don't buy into that shit will look at me and say, what a moron I am for saying something that's so obviously untrue. Jason Jordan was on the Miz's thing. You know, I don't know about this guy. Not a lot of charisma pouring out of him. He has an okay look. I mean, this guy's not really like, doesn't exactly have a tremendous look to him. He doesn't look like one of those guys that would go far. I'm not really getting a lot of presence from him. I mean, the guy looks good. He's got a good build. He did okay on Miz TV. He gave the belly to belly Kurt Angle suplex. Um, not a bad segment by any means, but not a great one either. He stood up for Kurt, but I'm not seeing a lot from this guy now. Many people say, "Oh, they should have chose Chad Gable." Yeah, that goofball with the headband. Yeah, I'm sure he'd go far too. I mean, what Chad Gable? Just because he was an Olympian? Look at Kurt Angle and look at Chad Gable. Yeah, Jason Jordan looks a bit more like a wrestler than Chad does. So I can see why they made that pick. I sat back and I thought about it for a while. I was like, Chad Gable is Kurt Angle's son. Nobody would be buying that shit either. Oh, just because they're Olympians? Yeah, I don't think so. Um, Seth Rollins beat Sheamus. This was so random with, Rollins just running into Sheamus in the back. What are they going to have? Dean and Seth for the tag titles? So, what is this? Seth and Dean, they break them up. They both win belts. Now they're going to get back together to be a tag team? Why? You've already won the world title. Why would you want to win a secondary title like the tag titles? They've already been there. They've already done that. Why would they want to go on and go back to being a tag team? They're not going to be the Shield. It's like a poor man's Shield. Reigns is not there. You're going to have two guys who basically it's proven that they can't be main eventers, so they're going to throw them back in the tag team scene because nobody was buying these guys as main eventers. You look to the main event. Who's the main event at SummerSlam? Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Samoa Fat Boy Joe. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But these are the guys. These are the big alpha males. These are the big guys. You look at Seth and Dean and you put them against, you're like, okay, I can see why now these guys have been demoted to the mid card because they really weren't capturing the imaginations of people or the interest of them. So, no surprise, Dean came out to save his boyfriend. Oh, what a love story. I mean, what an impassioned moment. I'm kind of thinking that they should cancel this supposed probably tag title match they might have at SummerSlam, and maybe just just film a dinner between these two, put some roses in a vase between the table. Shoot it at some fancy Italian restaurant. As they gaze into each other's eyes. I mean, that would be more entertaining than watching some boring ass tag match with these two guys, the lovers. Just change it already. Not the Shield 2.0, but I think the lovers. It should be the nickname of these guys. Up next, you had Bray Wyatt cutting a promo. It's a good promo and everything, but the lights go out. Balor's got the music, and I was like, oh wait a minute. They're doing the full Balor scary music. Is he going to be the demon? Is he going to come? No, he doesn't come out the demon. Instead, he's behind him like this, doing some poor imitation. And there you have Wade Keller once again, this fucking goofball. In the Raw review, he says, what a presence he had. He doesn't need to, he needs to talk more, but not all the time. But what a presence Balor had. when are we gonna just, just finally admit that Balor failed? That is why this guy is also stuck in the mid card. They realize that nobody is buying this little shrimp as a world champion. I mean, you even see when he's in the ring with a guy like Elias Sampson. Samson looks way more like a star. He looks like fucking Randy Savage. He bears a resemblance to him. And you've got a guy like Balor who's just trying so hard to be cool with his fancy leather. Oh, look at my leather jacket. I mean, everyone pretty much owns a leather jacket. It's a classic. Here's a leather jacket right here. I even wore one while I was making fun of him like months ago. I mean, for God's sakes, the leather jacket. It's been done already. Bret Hart wore the leather jacket. Stone Cold had the leather vest. You look at Finn Balor, Fuckboy Balor, and you're like, this guy's a big star. This guy's not a big star. He's a big joke. And they could. This would have been the perfect moment to have him come out with the demon paint. But of course, he does it. He's comfortable with his leather jacket. So let's not have him be the demon. Let's not have him fight fire with fire and have him come out as the demon. Let's once again, no character, no nothing, just standing there imitating Bray Wyatt. This guy wouldn't stand a chance with Bray Wyatt in a real fight. I think we all know that. So what presence are we talking about? He has no presence at all. You look at this guy; he doesn't even look like he belongs there. He looks like he belongs in some random indie fed. Just like working in a high school gymnasium, for fuck's sakes. This Prince Devitt does not seem like a big top tier star. That's for goddamn sure. Um, you had Roman Reigns defeating Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe in a triple threat match. It was a pretty good match. Keller is hoping in his heart of hearts that Fat Boy wins the world title. I hope to God not. If they're going to put the title on somebody, I'd go with Strowman, do Reigns again. But for God's sakes, don't try to please the internet and give it to Joe. I mean, my God, you know what this guy is going to do. He's just going, he's probably going to get a box of donuts and use the belt as a plate so he can eat the donuts off of him. That's what Fat Boy Joe's going to do. He's not going to have the title as like a meaningful, accomplishment. It's going to be a fucking donut tray for him. Or maybe serve a pizza on it or some shit. You could do that. Little slices of pizza in between the logo. I mean, my God, they'll never get the cheese out. My God. Um, so you had Elias Sampson. Oh, I'm sorry. Just Elias this week. Just Sampson is gone. He's been robbed of his last name. So I guess you check this guy's driver's license. He just has a fucking first name. Like, okay, just Elias. Uh, what's wrong with Samson? I mean, what is everybody? They all did this. They did this to everybody. Big E Langston was Big E. Antonio Cesaro was shortened to Cesaro. I mean, they keep on taking away names from these people. Like McMahon's like a name robber. Just like these guys could be in the WWE for years and suddenly they just change their fucking names. So Samson beat Kalisto. Kalisto had a new theme song, but Kalisto lost. So, but at least he had a new song. What is this guy even doing? This guy was U.S. champion a year ago. Uh, if anyone remembers that, Bailey defeated Nia Jax by count out. Now, Nia Jax is best friends with Alexa Bliss again. She's friends with her 1 week. She wants her title the next week. Now she's asking if she's okay. Here's the problem I have with Nia Jax. Are you okay, Alexa? I mean, the thing is, I look at this and I'm like, all right. She should not be so caring about another person. She should be a monster. I mean, why are they not booking her similar to Awesome Kong? Why, and also the way how she just crashes into the steel steps And like, that's it. She's just like sitting on the outside, like staring at Bailey. Like, what a goofy finish to end the match. Instead of making Nia Jax like she should have already won the belt or come pretty close to doing so. I mean, look at the size of her. If they were realistically booking this and inviting this show, she'd be way more dominant. Nobody would be able to beat her. And in the main event, it was Big Cass defeating the Big Show by disqualification. Haven't I can't believe that week after week we've seen Big Show and Cass and they haven't even had a match yet. Well, this was the first official match. It ended in the DQ when Enzo started beating up Cass. He jumped on him, he started punching him, and then it just ended with Big Show punching out Big Cass. And Big Show stands tall at the end. Like, I thought the star was supposed to be Cass, and now the end of the show is Big Show. At the end, what is this? This is not 1999. The Big Show is like a guy that's close to fucking retirement. And these segments with Big Cass and Big Show are going nowhere. And now it's in the main event. This is boring. Like, listen, these guys are entertaining. I like Big Cass. I like Enzo. They have personalities, but throwing the Big Show in the middle and having him fight Enzo's battles, why are they still continuing this feud? Where is it going to go? Enzo can't beat Big Cass. It's impossible. It'd be unrealistic to do so. They're just going to continue this story on, Big Show and Cass at SummerSlam. Who really wants to see that match? We already saw it here already, so, what's the point now? We're going to do it again? It already wasn't a great match, but we're going to go ahead and do it again. There's no story here that's interesting about it. He's fighting Enzo's battles for him. I mean, Enzo has the problem with Big Cass. He talks about how tough he is and everything. I don't know. Try to figure out some way how they could continue this feud. Otherwise, forget about it already. Because it's getting boring as shit already. Just Big Cass should have moved on. Instead of Fat Boy Joe, maybe he should have been the fourth man in the Fatal 4-Way. How about that? Well, here you go, motherfuckers. There is your Raw review. We started off with a big announcement, and then the show just ends uneventfully with Big Show standing tall. And this is the problem we have. Once again, Brock Lesnar, the big star. He's there for the first 10 minutes and gone for the rest of it. And you see, the Hardys being broken, but it's not even on Raw. It's on the internet. What a fucked up show, for God's sakes. And it's week after week of the same bullshit. Well, there you go, guys. There's your Raw review. Just boring as shit. A couple of like little promising things, but well, not really. I mean, I'm not really looking forward to SummerSlam besides the main event. But if they give it to Fat Boy Joe, then I mean, my God, if he walks away as champion, I don't even know what to think anymore. I mean, that's a show that's not even worth watching. If Fat Boy Joe is your champion, I want no part of that shit. Anyway, there you go, guys. This is your YWC champ. Signing out.